Hi, I'm Hughes-Barlow, back again for more tarot lessons. There's a change of scenery and I've got a bit of suntan, as you can see, and that's because I'm in sunny Florida, having a few weeks off, getting some sunshine, a bit of R&R, and getting some more inspiration about how to read tarot cards for you. Now, I did a series for you about card counting, and as someone commented on the YouTube channel, I didn't mention about the court cards and changing directions. And the reason I didn't is because I wanted you to be able to count the cards very simply. And it doesn't matter which card comes up, if you can think of that card and think of the number, even before you think of the meaning, you're doing the right thing. So as soon as you see a card, you automatically know exactly which card you count from. So what happens with the court cards? Now the court cards, they usually represent people. They can be either yourself or someone else who's a friend, a lover, a colleague, someone who's a relative or something like that. And of course people have choices. And when I was showing originally the card counting, I was just saying going in one direction until you come back to the same card that you've already counted upon, and then you stop because you know the sequence will continue. And then you count in the opposite direction. But if you had a court card, you actually have a choice. You have a choice of if it's a knight or a king, say, and you count 4 in this direction. You could, if you hit that king or knight, you could actually choose to go back 4 cards. Okay, and the same for the queen, and also for the prince or the princess or the page. The princess or pages, you count 7. So what happens when you're doing that? You're actually giving yourself more options, but it gets more complicated as well. That's the reason why I suggest you start out counting in one direction in one way and then go count the opposite direction until you come back. So we'll have a quick look at a few cards here anyway, just to kind of see what happens. Here are some here. We have the Knight of Wands on top. And we have a Prince of Discs here, we have a Page of Cups, and we have a Queen of Swords. Now right away I can tell you that the Queen of Swords, this card here, she actually counts 4, and in this direction she counts straight onto the Princess of Cups. So immediately we have a complex situation, because if we went in one way from the Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords say, to the Princess of Cups, we count 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the Princess of Cups, and for the Princess we count 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 swords, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Hermit card, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it goes on. The Queen of Swords, you could actually go from the Queen of Swords to the Princess of Cups and change direction. So we go from here, Queen of Swords count 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back in this direction 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the Major's card. We count 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7. Yeah, we're back onto the 7 of Cups, repeats it. So if we try going the opposite direction, we'll try the Prince of Discs. 1, 2, 3, 4, counts 5, from the Ace counts to 5. So the Prince goes from 1, 2, 3, 4 to the Ace of Wands, and then you count 5 for the Aces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hits the Queen of Swords. We can continue in this direction, or we have the choice of going back to the Princess of Cups. Gets complicated, doesn't it? That's why I didn't talk about the court cards in the first place, because of this bouncing backwards and forwards that can happen. But hey, that's about life, isn't it? That's what people do. You know, whatever you say to someone, they always say the same thing back, always do the same thing, whatever you do. So this is a more sophisticated way of looking at the interaction between the cards. Now, the original Golden Dawn teachings specified a direction for the court cards. So for the Knight of Wands and all the other knights and princes, we'd always count this way. We wouldn't count that way. But this is actually based upon the Tree of Life. I've done that wrong. If a Knight of Wands is on the Hukma side, so you count to the centre, so you'd actually count this direction. but you wouldn't count that one. But I allow reverse cards. So, which way do we go now? Do we go in that direction, or do we go in that direction? And it gets complicated, you see. So, it's a kind of... You have choice and free will in the cards, with the court cards, to say which direction you go, and you have choice and free will over whether you allow the court cards to go in one direction or another. But you can see very quickly how complicated that becomes. And it's a fascinating area, and sometimes when you're dealing with 2 or 3 people, and you know with these cards here, the Queen of Swords and the Princess of Cups have a strong relationship to each other. More to the Queen, she's going to the Princess. But the Princess is kind of not going to her. Okay? So there's all these funny things that are going on in the court cards, and it just brings in a whole new level of complexity and sophistication that you've got to deal with. So with reversals and the changing direction, you have a lot of possibilities there. So when you do a reading, just be careful. You don't confuse yourself, and you don't confuse your clients when you're doing the readings.